Motion Subtitle Maker is very simple. Once you've exported your subtitles from your editing software, simply import them into After Effects. The script will generate a subtitle composition as well as an XML file. This XML file contains all the information you need to import your subtitles back into the editing software. Into Vinci Resolve, import the file as a new timeline. And thanks to the Insert Selected Clip to Timeline using Timecode function, you can easily position your subtitles. It's just as easy in Final Cut Pro. When importing the XML file, it also creates a new timeline. Just copy the elements and paste them as connected elements from the first subtitle. Let's start by looking at the methodology with Vinci Resolve. If you don't have subtitles yet, you can generate them using the Create Subtitle from Audio function. This option is only available on the paid version of DaVinci. Once generated, export your subtitles in SRT format and open After Effects. In After Effects, I invite you to open the file that comes with the script. It contains preset text animations. We'll see in another video how easy it is to create your own template. Start by opening Motion Subtitle Maker. Its window can be positioned anywhere in the user interface. Before we look in detail at how the script works, let's start by checking out some tweaks. As compositions will be automatically placed in the render queue. The default values must be correct. For the render setting model, they must be on best settings. And for the output module, they need to be on high quality with alpha. If you want another codec, it's important that it's in QuickTime format and that it contains an alpha channel. Once these parameters are verified, we can begin. The first step is to import our SRT file. It is important that this file comes from an editing software so that the timecode matches that of our montage. Since SRT files do not contain frame rate information, we need to specify it. In my example, I'm working at 30 frames per second. For the rest, we have to choose our model from a list of compositions. I've provided you with a few, but it's very simple to create one. In order for the template to be visible to the script, it must be placed in the Templates folder. If you slip one in or take one out, you need to refresh the list of models. Underneath, we have on one side the list of text layers present in our template and on the other a list to assign a text. I can apply the entire text to one layer. Or, for example, if my template has two text layers, I'm going to use the first line of my subtitle for my first text layer, and the rest for my second text layer. Here, since the texts are on, we're going to use a template that has only one layer. I select my text layer in the list, and then all lines in the other list. I confirm by clicking on Apply. Underneath, I have a summary of what the script will create. We're almost done. All you have to do is generate our compositions by clicking on Create Compositions. A window opens asking us for the destination of the render folder. Be careful, keep in mind that the script will create a folder of the file name to store all the compositions. When generating an XML file, it will be created next to the render folder. This XML file is like a timeline file. It contains information about the rendered compositions as well as their positions on the timeline. Let's go back to DaVinci Resolve. I import my file as a timeline. I go to File, Import, Timeline. I don't touch any of the parameters. I click OK. This imported all of my subtitles as well as a new timeline, which opened automatically. I'm going back to my original timeline. If there is no empty video track, I create one and assign it as the destination by clicking on its number so that it is circled in red. In my bin, I right-click on my timeline and choose Insert Selected Clip to Timeline using Timecode. There you go! You can file the original clips using the Decompose in Place, using Clips Only function. If I have set handles when creating my subtitles, I can extend my subtitles. Now let's move on to the methodology for Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro, at the time this video is made, does not automatically generate subtitles. So you have to create them by hand or use a third-party plugin. Let's start by exporting the subtitles in SRT format that we're going to do in After Effects. For these subheadings, I'm going to use another template. So I slide the composition into the templates folder. Then I refreshed my list. I apply all lines to my text layer, click on Create Compositions and set a destination. Once rendering is complete, I go back to Final Cut to import my XML file. He creates a new event for me with a timeline of all my subtitles. I select them all and copy. Then I go back to my original timeline. I place myself at the level of the first subtitle and I paste as connected clip. Now all I have to do is turn off the Final Cut subtitles.
Today, we're introducing you to the cutest cat in the world.